Are you planning to study nursing in Nigeria and you're confused between NDHND nursing and BSc nursing? Maybe you've heard people say go for BSc because NDHND is not good, while others will say just enter any college of nursing, become a registered nurse, and you're good to go. In this video, I'm going to explain the major disadvantage of NDHND nursing compared with BSc nursing, especially when it comes to admission, school fee, employment, postgraduate studies, and working abroad. And if you're already studying NDHND nursing, like I am, don't worry. This video is not meant to discourage you. I would also explain how you can use the NDHND route to build your nursing career. But before then, if you have the opportunity to study nursing in the university, please go for that and leave NDHND nursing. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Onyi Udoye. This is Onyi Unscripted. For you that have not seen my face, I practically live my life on this channel. And since I'm now a nursing student, I talk about nursing and what I feel like people should know about nursing. Okay? Before I proceed, I would like you to watch this video to the end so that you can actually get everything I'm going to be saying in this video. I'm a nursing student currently studying NDHND nursing in a college of nursing here in Nigeria. One thing that makes the NDHND route attractive to many Nigerian students is accessibility. Okay, you can obtain NDHND nursing through approved College of Nursing Sciences. Compared with some university BSc nursing programs, getting admission into a College of Nursing can sometimes feel easier. In fact, it is easy. Okay, because there are more admission opportunities and different colleges, different institutions offering that particular nursing programs. They are much. Okay, but here is the interesting part. Easy admission does not necessarily mean cheaper education. Many college of nursing sciences can have very expensive school fees and other charges. You may have tuition, acceptance fee, accommodation, uniform, clinical requirements, examination fees, and other expenses. So don't make the mistakes of saying since admission is easier, the school must be cheap. It's not so. It's not so. So before choosing a school, you need to look at the total cost of the program, not just the tuition. Okay, for looking at the total cost of the program, you can't actually get the complete cost of the program before choosing an institution. You can actually get it for the first year. Then when you see the first year cost, if it's something you can afford, you go into. If it's something you know you cannot afford from the very beginning, just come out of it. Because whether private or college that I know of, they increase their tuition fee per year. Every year they are always increasing their tuition fee. So the same thing with the one I'm in currently. So for example, you're paying 1 million naira. Just know in your year two, let's say you pay 1 million naira, right? I'm talking about annual fee, not plus new students fee and all of that. I'm talking about just annual fee. If you're paying 1 million naira for annual fee, just know that the next year there's high possibility that you pay 1.2 or 1.3. In some of the schools I have already made the investigation and I've checked, like 3 to 4 or 5 schools I've asked questions. This is just like their routine. Same thing with the school I attend. That is just how it is. Like, if at first you cannot pay 1 million naira, don't no put body. In fact, don't enter, because there is possibility that you're going to increase it the next year. And how are you sure you're going to be able to afford it the next year? So another disadvantage is the structure of the NDHND route. With a BSc nursing program, you are pursuing a bachelor degree from the beginning. But with NDHND, you're going through a different academic structure before obtaining the HND qualification. This isn't necessarily bad, but if your ultimate goal is to have a bachelor's degree, you may eventually have to take another academic step to obtain it. So someone who started with BSc nursing may have a more direct academic pathway towards postgraduate education. This is why I always tell prospective nursing students Not don't only think about how to gain admission, think about where you want to your nursing career to be in 5 or 10 years time. Not only about I want to gain admission, I want to gain admission. Don't only think about that, because at the long run, where do you want to see yourself? That is the question. At the long run, like in 10 years, 5 years time, where do you want to see yourself? What do you want to be doing? What kind of a nurse do you want to be? Now let's talk about employment. As a nurse, your professional registration and clinical competence are extremely important. However, some employers and certain positions may specifically ask you for a bachelor's degree in nursing. This means that while an MD/HND nurse can have a nursing career, there may be certain positions where a BSc holder has an advantage simply because the job requirement says bachelor's degree. This becomes particularly important when you're looking at senior positions, administrative roles, teaching positions, research related positions, certain specialist opportunities. So the disadvantage is not that NDHND nurses cannot be successful or they cannot have a successful career. It is that having a BSc can give you access to a wider range of opportunities. I remember when I went for a certain posting, I remember a particular person there that works there. I would not want to disclose. She was actually saying something similar to this, and she was saying, those that do NDHND, though not like she's trying to discourage us, but just so we know, somebody that has a BSc can overhead us, even though we are like we finish before the person or we are their senior colleagues. That it doesn't matter. They will not leave somebody that have a BSc or to head a certain post for somebody that have NDHND nursing. Like, so another important consideration is postgraduate studies. So let's say you want to do a master degree. A BSc nursing gives you a bachelor degree from the beginning, which can make your academic progression more straightforward. Now, for NDHND nurse who want to progress academically, they may need to obtain a BSc or another recognized bachelor's qualification depending on the requirements of the institution and program. If you already know that you want to become a nurse educator, a researcher, a nurse administrator, an advanced practice nurse, or somebody that will eventually want a PhD, then you should seriously consider how your first nursing consideration fits into that long-term plan. In other words, just kukuma do BSc, leave NDHND nursing. And if you know you're watching me, I don't really understand all this big English, call your brother or your sister that is actually advanced so that they will explain all this thing I'm saying to you. Or let them watch this video, understand very well, and come and interpret. Because I noticed that most people that want to go to nursing are just secondary school graduates, which is actually good though. But most of them don't really understand the what it takes and the things to do and things to put in place. That's why some of them may end up making some kind of mistakes, and maybe later at the end they'll just start regretting that if they knew they would have done this one or they would have done that one, or that kind of a thing. So the question is always, can an NDHND nurse work abroad? The answer is not simply yes or no. You can't just say yes, you can't just say no. Now, why do I say so? Different countries have different requirements for internationally educated nurses. They may assess your nursing qualification, your nursing education, your clinical training, your registration, your work experience, English language requirements, and other professional requirements. For a BSc nursing can sometimes make the academic credential side of the process more straightforward because it is already a bachelor's degree. With NDHND qualification, you may encounter situations where additional education or credential evaluation is required. So if your dream is to eventually work in countries like US, UK, or Canada, Australia, don't just choose a nursing school because you can easily get admission there. Research the requirement of the country you eventually want to work in. Another one is career advancement. Let's just say you've been working as a nurse for several years. Eventually, you may want to move from bedside nursing into leadership, education, administration, or research. This is where having a bachelor's degree can become increasingly valuable. A BSc can provide a stronger academic foundation for moving into higher academic and professional qualifications, right? Now again, this doesn't mean that NDHND nurse cannot progress. You can, no, but you may have to take additional step that somebody who already has a BSc may not need to take. So this is actually the major thing of the entire video. Like, this is major thing of the entire video. NDHND nursing. NDHND nurses can get you into the profession, but BSc will give you a more direct academic pathway for certain long-term goals. Now, before you conclude that NDHND nursing is a bad option, let's just be fair. There are actual advantages. Okay, and I will say it. One, admission can be more accessible. It is easier to get admission into College of Nursing for some students who have struggled to secure university admission. You can go to an approved College of Nursing Science, and get admission. Now, the second one is you can actually get some substantial clinical exposure as part of your nursing education. Like for me, starting from, like, after our first year, they exposed us to the hospital. We went for our clinical posting. From That's after we did our first year. But if I was in the university, I think it's after my year two. After year two, that's when you start going for clinical posting. For us, from our first year that we started going for clinical posting, they've introduced a lot of nursing curriculums, nursing courses, pharmacology, a lot of things. But it's not like that for people that are studying in the university. Now, the third one, you can become a registered nurse and start building your professional career. And most importantly, your nursing journey does not have to end with NDHND. You can continue your education. You can pursue a BSc top up routes. You can build your work experience and develop professionally. Some people say if you finish NDHND, you go and do PG and do your master, that's postgraduate studies, and do your masters. I don't yet know how true that is because I'm still in the program. I've not gotten my HND, so I don't know how true it is. Okay, so if I get my HND, I can now, if I want to, I can see if it's actually easy as they have said. Okay, because NDHND is actually a new program, but I'm saying the one I know. Okay, you can build your work experience and continue developing professionally. So don't feel like you're failed because you are doing NDHND, because you didn't start with BSc. Why I'm making this video is to actually let people know, when you come across this video and you watch it and understand it, if you make any choice for yourself tomorrow, don't regret it, because I mean, you have seen this thing ahead of time, so you know it is like this. Do you understand? So don't feel any kind of way if you're already doing NDHND nursing. Don't. So now, who should choose NDHND and who should choose BSc? If your priority is finding an accessible pathway with nursing and you have an approved institution available to you, NDHND can be a reasonable option. But if you have the opportunity to study BSc nursing and your long-term goal includes postgraduate education, research, academia, leadership, or international opportunities, BSc may be more straightforward for you. In fact, it is more straightforward for you. It is a more straightforward choice for you. And there's another important factor: money. Money is another important factor. Don't choose a school simply because admission is easy. Now, find out how much is the tuition, how much is the accommodation, what other charges are there, what other things do they pay, how long is the program, what qualification will you receive, is the school approved, and what are your options after graduation. This question can save you, all these questions can save you from making an expensive mistake. My advice to prospective nursing students, my advice is actually simple: don't choose nursing based on only how easy it is to gain admission. Think about the entire journey. If BSc nursing is available to you, consider it. Though it is worth considering. If NDHND is the opportunity available to you, don't just automatically reject it. Instead, enter through an approved program, become professionally qualified, gain experience, and have a plan for further education. Your first qualification doesn't have to be the final qualification you ever obtain. No. Nursing is a career of continuous learning. Do you understand? So NDHND nursing or BSc nursing, which one is better? The answer depends on your circumstances and your long-term goal. NDHND may offer a more accessible admission route, but it can be expensive, like, and may require additional academic step if you eventually want a bachelor's degree. Expensive in the sense that most institutions that do NDHND, they are always private institutions, and their fees are not cheap. It's not cheap, oh. I'll leave it there. So BSc nursing can provide a more direct degree pathway and may give you broader option for further education and certain career opportunities. For BSc nursing in the universities, is either you're choosing a private university or you're choosing a government university. If you're going for a federal university, it is actually much affordable. But if you're going to a private university, if you don't have money, just come out of there. Don't put pressure on whoever that is going to sponsor you, especially when you know they cannot afford it. Do you understand? So if this video is actually helpful to you and you know you understood the differences very very well, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody planning to study nursing in Nigeria. And let me know in the comments, would you choose NDHND nursing or BSc nursing, and why? So I've come to the end of this video, and I pray and I hope that whoever that is watching this video makes the right decision. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.